What's going on, everybody? This is episode 631 of the First and Frame Rate Show. I am Via Valler. Over here we talk about Georgia Southern and Atlanta Falcons football. And we're chugging right along, man. It is Friday. Hopefully you guys had a great week. I had a pretty good week. Looking forward to the weekend. Try to find some things to do for me and mine. Try to do something with the little man and my wife. Try to find something to do. But nevertheless, it's just laid back and it's all good. Cannot complain. Over here, we talk about Georgia Southern and Atlanta Falcons football, and we're going to talk more Falcons because training camp is on and popping, and things are changing and things are moving. And we signed another player. We signed Justin Ellis, which is pretty interesting. Not the Justin Ellis from Georgia Southern, because when I first saw this, I thought it was Justin Ellis from Georgia Southern. I'm like, wait, what? But no, it's the offensive tackle Justin Ellis that played with the Giants last year, and we're going to talk about that signing. What does that mean for the team and Eddie Goldman? Because a lot of people saying Eddie Goldman is out the door. And also, Matt Hennessy went down with an injury. He had an MRI. And Matt Bergeron gets an early opportunity to show what he can do, get more exposure as far as being on the field for training camp. So that's going to be pretty interesting. So if this is your first time here, welcome. I can be found on YouTube and Rumble. I am also on Anchor, Stitcher, Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts. Stitcher will be going down next month. I think it's next month. And now, if you're listening on Stitcher, if you don't know by now, Stitcher will be dropping its service. I think they're moving over to Pandora or something like that. I'm not really sure, but nevertheless, you can find me on Apple or Google or Spotify and listen to the show over there. If your guys are on YouTube or Rumble, hit the like button, share this podcast. Also, if you're on Apple, give me a 5-star rating. I really would appreciate it. You guys are absolutely amazing. But with that being said, we're going to also, before I get into the show, I'm also on X, which used to be Twitter, at VFBaller, and the website is firstandframerates.com. So let's just go ahead and get into this. Justin Ellis was signed today. What does that mean for Eddie Goldman? Do not know. Eddie Goldman was back and forth with retirement, so I don't know how that plays out. This is just more of another addition to the front line. Eddie Goldman may be out the door. I think he left voluntarily or something like that. But the thing about this, Justin Ellis is not coming in to do, everything in the world. We have a really deep roster of guys going to be rotating in and out of the front seven, the front four. And so with Ellis hasn't played 50% of his snaps any season since he's been in the league. Since 2014, he has been fairly, effective. So that'll be okay for him to be rotated in and out. Don't expect much for him. So with that being said, the Falcons is going to continue to move right along. It's basically just one day at a time. You got to understand that this is just training camp, people. People are all up in arms about quarterbacks not throwing the ball properly. People are getting interceptions. People are being ball hogs. People are running routes great. That's cool. I love it. I love every bit of it. But at the same time, we have to understand that this is just training camp. Don't make nothing too high. Don't make anything too low. This is why I have very low expectations. I can say very low, but I have low expectations for Desmond Ridder. I don't think that he needs to come shock the world. I just want him just to be safe with the football. I want these other guys that have been in the league for a while, I want those guys to be dogs. Because you've proven yourself. Desmond Ridder hasn't proven himself, so I don't expect him to be much. Even with Bijan Robinson, he's looking great, but he's a rookie. Albeit a top 10 pick, I don't expect much out of him. I think a lot of people, and this is a lot of fandom here, a lot of fans expect too much out of these players sometimes. They really do. Just let them go ball. If they go ball after the first 1 or 2 games, you're going to see what type of player you got. And in some cases, you may need longer time than that. So it's cool. The guys in the front office, for the most part, 3 years in, going on 3 years in, they look like they know what they're doing. So it's not the end of the world if you see this and that and the third happens. So it's just all good. The only thing I don't like is the injury side of things. I don't like, players getting injured and stuff like that. That is an act, that's just really weird. I'm just not a fan of it. I hate injuries. It's the weird and sad part of sports. Yeah, it's just a really bad side of the sport. But nevertheless, we, keep it moving, and one day at a time, everybody. The Falcons are just going to keep moving and doing what they have to do to be the most successful team that they can be. And with this team put in place, I think they're going to be fine. Like I said, it's not the end of the world if players don't live up to your expectations. The main thing is they need to live up to the expectations to win games, because some people, their expectations are a little bit out there, and sometimes I'll be like, okay, all right, whatever. But nevertheless, it's cool. Let's jump ship and let's talk about the opportunity that Matt Bergeron gets. Matt Hennessy goes down with an injury, which is it was an injury that's been lingering him for the past 6, 8, 10 months. It's been bothering him. He's been out last year because of it, but he did come back in the middle of at the end of the season and play. So Matt Hennessy was around. But with that being said, that was a kind of a signal for the Falcons to go offensive line somewhere in the draft. So in the second round, 38 pick overall, they pick up Matt Bergeron. It was a tackle from Syracuse, moved over to guard. And from what I'm hearing, he's doing a really good job adjusting. So when Matt Hennessy goes down, Bergeron comes in, and based on what Chris Lindstrom is saying, he seems like he's doing a pretty good job. This is here on AtlantaFalcons.com. It is really good to see that he's doing a pretty good. Lindstrom comes in and says there's all type of small things that you come to help him with. You may have a rule, but applying it on the field may involve elements that you only learn with experience. You talk with him about how we want to execute and how we want to fit between him and the center or him and the tackle and try to work it through. And Lindstrom concluded saying that Bergeron has done a great job of keeping an open mindset. So for the most part, it just seems like he's doing okay. And so he gets the opportunity to jump right in as a rookie. You got to understand, this guy played in the ACC, 6, 7 months ago. Now he's playing against, NFL players, and don't hear nothing bad. You just hear that he's fitting in. So it's a good thing. You're a second round pick for a reason. And these guys, for the most part, have a good alpha talent. Coach Arthur Smith has been done pretty good. I think even though Mayfield and Darby didn't really pan out the way we wanted them to, every other pick has been done okay. They've done okay based on where they were drafted. So 2 out of what? How many picks you had now? Almost 20 picks in the draft, or 2 out of 20. Not too bad. So you're building this team from the inside out. We talked about the trenches last week. The trenches are what wins and lose games. Regardless of what kind of quarterback you got, the trenches ain't holding up the quarterback, you ain't going to be able to do anything. If you're not getting at the other team's quarterback, you ain't doing anything. I don't care if you got Aaron Rodgers, Pat Mahomes, Tom Brady back there. You ain't going to do nothing if you ain't got no offensive line. Just ask what the Giants did to Brady twice and look at the finals moments of the game with the Brady against the Eagles. They didn't have enough guys in the trenches to help block. You see what happened. So it does, kind of boils down to that. You want guys who can block and run block and get the running backs through the hole so they can run for big yards. You want the quarterback to have enough time, and you want your defensive line not to give the opposite team enough time. So with Justin Ellis, Matt Bergeron, once again, this basically turned into a trenches style episode. You're starting to see how things are starting to play out when it comes to this team, where we knew that Arthur Smith liked to run the ball. He did it with Derrick Henry. We know that our new defensive coordinator likes to run and rush the passer. So we're starting to see that. It's not much here that you can hang your hat on. It's only been a week of training camp. I'm not one of these guys that really sit here and say, oh, this is going to happen, that's going to happen. I just want to say, for the most part, everything looked pretty solid. Some things could be tweaked, because no team is perfect, no players are perfect. But for the most part, you don't see anything that's alarming. You don't see anything that's a problem. People can try to hang their hat on Desmond Ridder in the way that he threw some footballs, whatever the case may be. But overall, the sentiments are that he's done pretty well. He's done okay. And, like I said, I'll say it once again. I want him to complete passes to our receivers and don't get the ball to the other team. If he does that, the team's going to go a long way. So shout out to Justin Ellis, not the one from Georgia Southern, which I thought it was when I first saw this. But it is Justin Ellis that played with the Giants last year. and Matt Bergeron gets an opportunity. You know, we at a second round pick, he should be able to be starting at some time. Why not start early to get the experience? If you like this commentary, hit the like button, share this podcast, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Let me know what you guys think, guys, about the signing of Justin Ellis. What do you think about Matt Bergeron stepping up after Matt Hennessy goes down? What do you think about, the training camp in general? I think it was okay. I think the first week was okay. They're going to get better. I suppose they'll get better. And we might be in for a treat, just like Grady Jarrett said. We might be in for a treat when it comes to this team. All right, y'all. I want to get up out of here. Enjoy your guys' weekend. Have fun. Do something nice for you or others in your circle. I'll see you guys back here on Monday. If anything happens throughout the week, I'll be here on the YouTube channel to give you guys an update on whatever the news is. But other than that, I'm going to get up out of here. I got to work some things out on my other YouTube channel, and we'll get into that. All right, y'all. Y'all take it easy, and y'all be blessed. Peace.